let's talk to Steve Gillen, General Secretary at the Prison Officers Association, because big stories in the papers today about prison reform, about building more prisons, about letting more prisoners out, about dangerous sex offenders and people who have been sent into prison for violent behaviour being released simply because there isn't any space. Another prison officer being attacked yesterday as well. Steve, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mike, and thanks for inviting me on.
It's a terrible situation right now, it would seem, inside of our prisons, but the Labour government seems to think the answer is to let the violent people out of the prison to become part of the general population. What do you think?
Mike, there's been a crisis in our prisons for many years now, and to be fair, Labour did inherit a crisis, not just in prisons, but the whole criminal justice system.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's always a good idea to let people out, but you know, what we need is a proper sentencing policy that protects society, protects victims, and we're seeing the repercussions in our prisons from overcrowding.
Yeah.
You know, again, yesterday, it seems that we're on the TV all the time discussing violent assaults against our members. We're holding our conference this week down at Eastbourne, and it's been the topic of our conference about the violence against our members now on a daily basis. 10,000 assaults every year now. Yeah. That's, you know, more than 27 a day, hospitalising our members, life-changing injuries. Something's got to change, Mike. It's getting that drastic.
Yes, exactly right. This latest one was at HMP Woodhill, Milton Keynes, which is supposed to be a high-security jail, and you have to ask the question about the kinds of rules that are being handed down. I know you guys don't control that, but in terms of the security of your own officers, surely there has to be a change in the way that prisoners are managed and handled by the powers that be.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. And I'm going to be seeing the Prisons Minister, Lord Timpson, in about half an hour's time, because he's attending our conference. And that's exactly what we're going to be telling him, that the regimes need to be changed. Some of these individuals have got nothing to lose. Some of them are serving 55, 60 years. Yeah. And we think there should be supermax conditions for those individuals who pose a constant threat. Yeah. They were a threat to society. They're still a threat to my members who do a magnificent job on behalf of society every day, and we need that protection. You can't just allow individuals to have boiling water, kettles. We haven't got stab-proof vests yet, or tasers. Yeah. And I think it's long overdue, and I think people need to wake up and smell the coffee now. Yeah. Otherwise, I could be on here talking about a fatality, and I don't want that to happen, Mike.
No. I was told by a colleague of yours a little while ago that the stab vest question has been held up because there are some in the authorities who don't think that you want to look too confrontational. Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, if that's true, because surely what you look like should be precisely that. What you should look like is that you are people who don't take any nonsense, and you don't, you are not going to put yourselves in danger.
No, 100% agree with you. And at the end of the day, if people are intimidated by that, don't come to prison in the first place.
Well, right. I mean, I'm sorry. If you're in prison and you're feeling intimidated by the officers, well, I'm saying that's a good thing, actually, frankly. You know, and a lot of people would back you up on that. So, I mean, in terms of the short term, though, the prison crisis, as you say, has been around for a long time, but it's got a lot worse simply because we don't seem to have enough prison space. Do you think we should be building more prisons?
No, I don't. I think we should be maintaining the prisons that we have to make them secure, decent for staff and prisoners, quite frankly, because we've got to work in there. Some of them are rat-infested. You can't build your way out of a crisis because these prisons aren't going to be manipulated in a couple of months. We're looking years down the line. We want to be dealing with the here and now, quite frankly. And that investment, I've already said to the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, save your billions of pounds on prison builds and invest that money in what we need now.
Yeah, And what about the foreign prisoner quotient? Because, I mean, Keir Starmer's off to Albania today, and he's going to be seeing the Albanian Prime Minister with a view to possibly shifting a few migrants his way. It seems to me that if he took some of the Albanian prisoners out of prison, that would create a bit of space, and all the other foreign prisoners in there as well. He's supposed to be deporting those. I mean, how disruptive are those foreign prisoners, those foreign inmates, first of all? And why can't we just, I know this is not part of your pay grade perhaps, but why can't we just deport them and send them all back?
I think you've got to have reciprocal agreements with different countries. And I think, you know, whether it was a Conservative government or a Labour government, they've dragged their heels on that over the last probably 20 years, if I'm truthful. That is something that will be on the agenda, something that we will be talking to government about to make sure that the people that should be deported and that have got reciprocal agreements are, to try and free up some space with regards to incarceration. There's a massive backlog of Crown Court cases. So it's just a sort of revolving door at the minute. They let people out early and then we're bringing them in. So, yeah, there's a major problem, Mike, and it's not going to go away anytime soon.
OK. Well, listen, great to talk to you. A very, very sensible point of view coming from the Prison Officers Association. When you see my Lord Timpson, tell him he needs to come and see us and tell us what his plan is, because we haven't had him on, and I don't know why. But this, of course, is the home of common sense. Why wouldn't you want to come on here?